Okay, so good morning, Mr. Habiliano.
Morning.
Okay, this is about your book, Bolo Men. Mr. Habiliano, what was your first reaction when you first heard of the Bolo Men? Or the Ilocano War?
I thought they were. I thought they were a great story. I didn't know how many stories there were in the beginning. This is a handful of people, and then after a while, it became. I became a bit sad about the Bolo Men. Because the thing that the Bolo Men, the reason the Bolo Men are so interesting is that they were not soldiers. They were civilians. And so, after the war, if they die out, people who know their stories die out, like their sons and daughters, then you don't have any record of them anymore. They're not military. The military keeps records. But if you're civilian militia, you're basically a ghost. Yeah. So that's what interested me in the beginning.
Okay, so Mr. Habiliano, what did you think about the Bolo Men's contribution?
Oh, we owe our freedom to the Bolo Men.
Really?
Yeah. See, a lot of the Bolo Men were people who functioned like an underground communications network. The problem kasi with Luzon during the Japanese occupation was that the guerrilla leaders were not in touch with each other. There were something like 11 guerrilla groups. Unfortunately, none of them had any radios anymore, and they were isolated in pockets in the mountains and in caves and things like that. And it was the Bolo Men late in the war that became the go-betweens between some of the large guerrilla groups. They would carry messages from one group to another. So they became like a walking telegram. Yeah.
So kind of like messengers.
Yeah, they were important. At other times naman, they were like, because they had no weapons. So they were like deterrents. Yeah, so some of the Bolo Men were talking about times when they would make rifles out of wood.
Wooden rifles?
Yeah, just to fool the Japanese, and then they would perch on a very high parapet, for example, some place that's inaccessible but look like snipers. So the Japanese would not pass through certain areas because they would see that, oh, there's a sniper over there. But it wasn't true. It was just a Bolo Man trying to scare, like para scarecrow, just scaring away the Japanese.
So Mr. Habiliano, what was your goal in writing the book?
Oh, the goal was simple. The goal was to raise money for a memorial marker. A war memorial marker in Pagudpud. So that particular beach in Pagudpud that you read about, there's now a marker there that basically pays tribute to the submariners who landed the goods there in 1944. Yeah. The Stingray submarine, and also the Bolo Men who helped carry the goods up into the mountains. Yeah.
So
Actually, you go there, you'll see the marker.
I think
Bagong tayo na.
I think nakapunta na po kami sa Pagudpud. Yeah, kasi
So you will see the marker?
I
It's not too big.
was a kid pa kasi nun. Maybe I don't know.
Wala pa yun ng bata. Ano lang to, it was like 2 years ago lang.
Okay, Sir Habiliano, who would you be called the modern Bolo Men? Modern day Bolo Men?
Modern day Bolo Men. In the Philippines, I'm not sure if we have any real modern day Bolo Men. Kasi wala naman tayong si Guerra. Unless you say it's a war against something, like if you say it's in the war, the context is the war of poverty. I guess you could say that our NGO workers and social workers are your Bolo Men.
Oh, yeah.
Parang ganun, di ba?
Yeah.
So it depends what context it's in.
If you don't mind me asking, sir, why would the NGOs be the modern day Bolo Men?
Kasi again, they work basically without thought of money. But a lot of them work for free, like the Bolo Men.
Yeah.
But they had a lot to lose because their children and their families were very precious to them, so they had to try and protect them. Another reason is that they're not after any recognition or any honor or glory. Just basically trying to help. That's something that's very intrinsic to the nature of the Bolo Men. Is that wala lang. After the war, they just went back to being farmers and teachers and no fanfare, no ano na, oh, tumulong kami, pabagsak ng Japanese, no. Just very quietly just go back to their old lives. Ganun mo siya.
So they didn't see press coverage or anything like that.
No. Not farthest from their minds.
Okay, sir, any memorable incidents that took place while writing the book?
Marami actually. Oh yeah. The book was almost done. We had a manuscript finished. It looked a little like that already. And we were invited to the memorial service for the U.S. servicemen who were on board that submarine. We went all the way to Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went to Atlanta in a little place called Kings Bay in southern Georgia. And then, no, we didn't go to Atlanta. We went to Kings Bay, Georgia. Didn't get as far as Atlanta. Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville.
Oh. But it was mostly in Kings Bay. And they had this little ceremony where, you know, the American ceremony, the memorial service. They have this bell, and then they ring the bell, they call out the names of the dead, etc. That's basically it, in a nutshell. At the same time, there was a reunion of the old Sambarangas, so I met all the guys. Sila Basil Wentworth, the ones who are still alive. Basil Wentworth, Montague, who else is there? Ed Diolan, yeah, he was there. Tatanda na siyempre, mga lolo na. No? Pero saya. So I was there for about 3 days. Then they had war stories and things like that. Some of them were even in like Montague was in Pearl Harbor when the Japanese attacked. So he was telling a story about the planes flying low and he was in the building. And all he did was point his machine gun this way and fire. And then dadaan doon sa harap yung mga Japanese Zeros, no, in the line of fire. Because they were so fast, they were just going, he couldn't follow like this. He just decided to find one place and let the...
Kind of like the game. I remember this game where you just shoot.
Ayun, so that is, you know, look at masaya siya. Masaya na awestruck. No? We finally meet the heroes of the Stingray submarine.
So, Mr. Villana, how does this book apply to the youth today?
Well, basically a story about, or the compilation of stories about how, you know, our ninuno, mga ancestors natin, not too far away, no? Basically your grandfathers yan. Held their own during the war. No? Their stories about courage and leadership and fortitude, things like that.